All right. I've seen a lot of videos about lease purchase. I don't do lease purchase anymore unless it's for a specific business reason, which I'll mention along the way in these videos that I'm doing as a group. Um, so I'm going to tell you what a lease purchase is and how it works. These are not going to be long videos. They're just going to be explaining things and the way they work. Okay. Now, the lease purchase of a truck. This is not going and leasing a truck from Daimler or Volvo or Peterbilt. This is when you go to one of these company-sponsored leases that so many people think are full maintenance leases, but they're not. And they fall into several different categories. If you go to the majority of these companies, you're going to get a truck that's newer. You're going to pay seven to $1,000 a month, or even more in some cases. They're going to charge you for every extra. Like if you have an APU on that vehicle, they charge you for that. They charge you cents per mile. Now, what's good about it is if you have no credit or anything, you can get into this kind of a lease very quickly. It's usually a false hope, though, because it's called a lease purchase. But nowadays, and it wasn't this way in the past, most of these leases will never be paid for. You know, you either walk away or fail or whatever. But they are all walk away leases. They might charge you a restocking fee or something like that, but they're not going to come and sue you if you don't finish the lease. They call it a lease purchase because at the end of that 3-year lease, they'll let you buy the truck if you have the $50,000 or the $75,000 cash. Some places actually will lease you a truck for a lot less. Very few companies nowadays, but there are some that will lease you those trucks for $300 or $400 a week, which is actually a better deal. But then that would be considered, in my opinion, it's all considered truck rental. You are renting a truck. You're still doing all the you're still doing all the work as an owner operator or anything like that, but you have actually a much harder job. When you're leasing a truck from a company, you're under their umbrella for everything, unless you're at one of these companies that will let you move your lease from company to company, but you're still not in charge of your money or anything, because any company you're moving it to, they're collecting your money up front and sending it in for you to pay the bill to the next company. Now, if you want to know all the different aspects of leasing, then you're going to have to go to the playlist and pick out the video that pertains to you. And so you know, because they're all different, right? Some companies that you may lease from will do that 3-year lease with you, and then they may actually, after you finish the 3-year lease, they will extend that out and you can do a 2 more year lease, and you'll still have a buyout usually. Now, what these drivers are not getting out of it, yes, it's 100% tax write-off for the full term of the lease, but if you take the amount of money you're paying for your leased company truck and add that up for the full term plus the buyout, usually you're paying double for a truck. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You're paying double for a truck. The real lease, like if you go and lease a truck from Volvo or whatever, is a much better option, but that will be covered in a different video. Buying a truck is the best option, usually, and that's really what everybody wants to do. But the numbers are actually better on a Volvo lease or a Freightliner lease than buying a truck, unless you do this one little trick that I've always done, and that'll be in the next video. In these truck leases that you do at these companies, they also inspect the truck pretty stringently. And if you leave the company, they will charge you back for any dings or mishaps or anything that's not perfectly exactly like it was on that truck before you leased it. And if you don't note it on the original receipt that it was something was like they had a scratch on it or something from a previous driver, then they will charge you. And they'll charge every driver over and over again for that same scratch. Leasing is a money-making opportunity for these trucking companies. It's part of their business model. It's not done to help you. You are 100% in charge of everything as far as a chargeback. They will charge you back for everything and take that money to help themselves. A lease purchase, if you're not training, is the fastest way to get to a bankruptcy in the trucking industry. It drives more people to bankruptcy than anything else, even their spending habits, because you dig in and you hang on too long, and the next thing you know, you're broke.